We bought our homestead in the fall of 22 thinking that we were going to be able to get high-speed internet, and we quickly found out that we couldn't and started using a mobile hotspot while we got on the Starlink waiting list. And just about 2 weeks ago, we got our Starlink in, and we temporarily wired it in on the ground. And then in this video, we're going to permanently install it and tell you what we think about it so far. All right, so we got the Starlink. Now we need to figure out where to put it. They recommend downloading the app and uh, basically pointing it at the sky, and it does a kind of a count of how many satellites it thinks it will pick up based on, I guess, how much blue sky it sees. I'm not sure. They're kind of these dots just show up, and your phone vibrates every time it picks one up. But so our house is like surrounded by trees on all four sides. I mean, we have the property line that runs back here on the west side. We have this big red oak tree right behind me. So the spot that picked up the best, and it's still not perfect, is right here on the other side of Mallory's shed. So the goal was maybe we can mount the Starlink up on top of her shed. It's gonna be a little short. So I watched a couple of videos. The Starlink comes with this cord already plugged in. You just hit this button and take it out, and that way you can actually get it in the pipe if you're mounting it like I am. Because the other end has like, it's like a 90. You can't get it through the pipe. So little trick if anybody's watching this, gonna try it at home. Just because I'm taping our Starlink. Because it's a little loose. I'm using painter's tape so it doesn't like stick to it too bad. It's just kind of funny. Oop. 75 feet. The cable wasn't long enough. It only made it to here. Looks like we needed another 25 feet, maybe a little more than that. We have power in Mallory's shed. I just installed so we can have a deep freezer in there whenever we butcher some animals. That hasn't happened yet. So right now we just have a spare refrigerator plugged in. So to test this thing out, we're going to plug it in here just to see how it does. So this is where all the cool kids are going to come hang out now. We are so technologically advanced in this shed right now. That's what it looks like when it's calibrating. All right, so we got the Starlink temporarily mounted. We plugged it in inside Mallory's shed. It came on, it connected to the internet, it did a little update, and it's actually still, it's done calibrating, but it's looking for obstructions. But whatever it's doing, it's way better than what we had. We were both sitting out here just kind of watching it and got on the internet, and we were watching YouTube and Facebook, and it was crazy fast. So I ran inside and fired up our little mobile hotspot that we've been using just to see the difference. And I did the speed test on Google. The mobile hotspot, the download was like 20 megabits per second, and the upload was like 1 megabits per second. And that thing has been horrible. We've gone over our data. You got to turn it off when you're done with it and forget to charge it, whatever. It's been a pain. We tried the Starlink, and it's 50 megabits per second up to 55 download, the upload is 9 times faster. It was like 9 point something megabits per second. So that's going to be really good, I think. Another big thing about it that I noticed while I was inside is I literally had to like disconnect from the Wi-Fi from the Starlink because it was like full signal while I was trying to connect to that little mobile hotspot. So we might leave the router in Mallory's shed. We'll just have to see how that goes. I'm definitely going to do a better job mounting it so that it's more secure. But for now, just to kind of test it out and see how things go, I think it's okay. This is where I'm going to mount it permanently. I'm just going to do a better job of mounting it and running the wire. You can see we just kind of have the wire just on top of the ground. So the original wall bushing is not going to work. So I got this on Amazon. It's for like satellite. I'm sorry. It's for solar panels for campers and I don't know, people make them like van conversions. And then so this is the waterproof connection, but it doesn't fit the Starlink cord would fit in there, but the plugs on these Starlink cables is the challenge. That's why the hole had to be so big, and that's why that waterproof connector doesn't work. You can see it's a big hole. I think I had to drill a 3/4 inch hole to make it fit. And of course, there's a stud that I drilled straight through. It's like it's not a structural stud. I guess it's a jack stud. Today, I'm gonna bury the Starlink cable. I'm gonna trench it in and put it in conduit. We've just been leaving it on the ground for about a week, 2 weeks maybe. It hasn't rained here. We're still in a drought, but we just got a little bit of rain this week, so I'm hoping the ground will be a little softer and easier to dig in. So I'm gonna do that today, and I'll show y'all how I'm gonna do that. I don't think that's going anywhere. You do want to make sure you plug this in all the way. I learned that the hard way. I had to come out here in the middle of the night. The mosquitoes were tearing me up here trying to plug this in better. All right, so here's what it all looks like now that I'm done. I could have bought the mounts from Starlink. I just wasn't very confident that one of them would work or one wouldn't. So I felt like it was better to just do it with the stuff I had on hand and could easily find in the store. And I think that'd be helpful for other people too. You could do the same mount, in the ground, probably on top of the roof, you name it. So it's nothing really to it. And then I just reused these little holders for the coax cable that I took off the side of the house and did my best to kind of just hide the cord. Down here, I just filled up the 90 with some silicone. It's exterior silicone, so it'll be fine. And, obviously that's not ideal, but this cord's meant to be outside already. I'm just trying to protect it so that, especially right here when I'm weed eating and stuff, I'm not just tearing up the cord. And you can see here, I just kind of kick dirt in every couple of feet, just kind of help hold the conduit down at the bottom. I'm about to go back and fill it in all the way. I did that all the way down. Same thing here, just filled that 90 up with caulk. Reuse those holders, clips. And then up there, you can see I used that little wall mount that I found on Amazon. Again, Starlink has something for that. I just wasn't sure if it would work for us or not. And this was cheap. I don't know how much it was, but maybe $10, maybe $20. It wasn't crazy. I caulked behind it, kind of made a gasket, and then I made a big plug of caulk in the hole there. That is my biggest complaint about this Starlink is all your holes in your conduit are like huge for how small of a cable it is, simply because of the two plugs on each end. So real quick before I fill this in, I wanted to not really do a review, but just let y'all know how it's working for us so far. We've had it for a little over 2 weeks now. At first, we just had the cord on top of the ground, and before that, we just had the router in Mallory's shed because the cord was too long. I mean, was too short. Uh, and with the router in her shed, it was perfect. There was nothing wrong. We could have left it in there, except if you read the fine print, it says that it can't get over maybe 85 degrees or something like that. So we were unplugging it during the day because it was pretty hot. So we were excited when we got the longer cord in, and then just ran it up through that hole where the coax was already coming out. And the for us, we're not video gaming or anything like that. I think even if you were, it'd probably be fine. But for us uploading videos and just watching YouTube and other streaming, it's very fast. We have no complaints with it at all. The range is really crazy. Some days it picks up further than others, but definitely way past the outside of the house. I'd say maybe about 50 feet past the house. So I guess that's maybe about a 100-foot radius. Um, I'm sure it'd be different depending on if you have, a metal building or a metal roof and those kinds of things. But for us, it's really good.